Hi there, Salena Kulkarni here with another episode of the Alternative Investing Podcast. My mission is to help business owners build high-performance wealth that delivers reliable, predictable cash flow through unconventional strategies so they can fast-track their path to financial freedom. Each week I share with you the strategies, expert interviews, and real people's stories around the topic of wealth and financial freedom. And if you're a business owner who wants to learn more about financial freedom through alternative methods, please head over to my website, freedomwarrior.com.au, where you can access my library of articles, interviews, and programs to help you on your way to becoming more financially free. Hey guys, so very excited in today's episode to unpack a little bit for you the actual mastermind that I run called Freedom Warrior, what it's about, who it's for, and why, in my opinion, it is completely unique in the Australian New Zealand marketplace landscape. And the reason that I'm doing this is I've had a bunch of people reach out to me over the last couple of months who are really trying to understand, what is this mastermind about? Is it a fit for me? And what sort of outcomes can I expect? So I kind of want to contrast this, first of all, to the online digital program that's a self-paced course that I have as well, so that you can understand whether, that might be another starting point for you. So, there are two kinds of people that I work with. One are business owners who have, in spite of acquiring multiple properties and having a significant net worth, they still haven't been able to achieve the sort of financial freedom and goals that they might have around building income streams outside of their business. The other group or other cohort are business owners who've done really well in business. They have effectively created a business which is delivering awesome income, but they've been less interested in building wealth outside of the business for various reasons, including the fact that maybe they thought they could sell their business for a high ticket price. And so building wealth has fallen to the back burner, and maybe they're at a point now where they're not interested in amassing a traditional investment portfolio that's going to take 3 to 4 decades to get them where they want to go. They want to move faster. So they're the two cohorts that I tend to work with. Now, really the primary goal, if I step back, of working with people and the outcomes that I want to deliver, is I want to show people that there is a predictable and safe step-by-step method that can help people reach their financial goals, reach financial freedom, and exit their business in anywhere from as little as 18 months up to about 5 years. And I want to be really clear that I'm not interested in working with people who aren't passionate and committed to that outcome. So from my perspective, what I'm trying to show people is that you don't actually need to take crazy risks. You don't need a 10 million plus property portfolio. You could actually have a much smaller capital base. And yet if you apply those to the right kinds of investments, ones that will deliver you that sustainable, predictable annuity of income outside of the business, then you're going to position yourself to either step off or, gradually exit or, basically effectively give yourself a viable plan B in just a short period of time. So, what I'm committed to doing is really explaining to people what their options are so that they can make better investment decisions themselves. I'm really passionate about people being empowered to make decisions instead of, abdicating. And Freedom Warrior is really designed to do exactly that. It's designed to empower you to understand, first of all, what your investing options are. And then the second part of that is, people come to me because they want to fast track their access to the right people, the right advisors, the right deal makers who can deliver them A-grade deal flow that is really what's going to get them to their financial goals. If I reflect over the last, say, 10 years of the sorts of people that I've been working with, something that, I've seen time and time again is that thousands of business owners are pouring millions and millions of dollars of capital from their business, their hard-earned capital, into assets such as property and shares with the hopes that eventually they'll ratchet up their net worth to the kind of level that's actually going to deliver them the security, the income that they feel they need in order to sustain their lifestyle. And unfortunately, what I also witness is that the vast majority of people, in spite of being, either high net worth or super high net worth, they still find it hard to step away from their businesses because their portfolio is delivering subpar cash flow. And many of you guys have heard me speak in the past about, for example, in property, the typical net return that you can expect on property that's held outright, meaning no debt at all, sits somewhere between 1 and 2.5%, and maybe a fraction more for commercial, maybe 3 to 4% for commercial. That's the average. Now, obviously there's exceptions to that, but when you think about how much money you have to invest, wait for compound interest to do its thing, you need a huge net worth in order to get a pretty paltry level of cash flow. So I think the frustration that a lot of people have, a lot of business owners have, is that, they're doing everything right in the property investing playbook. They're doing everything right in terms of, setting aside funds, trying to be good stewards, but they're no closer to financial freedom. So I think a really good starting point to kind of give you context for how this program was born was to take you back in time. Back in 2009, when we had a relatively strong property portfolio, I started to do the maths on how long is it going to take for us to get to a point where we could rely on the income from our property portfolio. And I saw that it was still back then at least 25 years away. So that's really part of what motivated me to start searching for a different way of doing things. And, I was just lucky enough to stumble across the world of alternative investments, particularly in international markets. And I found that, just by moving a little bit of my capital into those kinds of investments that generate that strong cash flow return, I was going to really not only shave years off my timeline, but I didn't need as much as what people were telling me I would need. What I wanted to do in creating the Freedom Warrior Mastermind is show people that world as well. I think a lot of business owners lose heart when it comes to investing because even with all of the blood, sweat and tears that they put into it, they're just not making any kind of return that's meaningful or creating wealth that's meaningful. So the ultimate charter of the Freedom Warrior Mastermind is to show people precisely what they need to do if they want to create life-altering, meaningful wealth that is going to allow them to really, be the architect of how they spend their time, who they influence, and whether or not they continue to work in their businesses. So I think what I want to say as a qualifier before I go any further is I want to be really clear about who I am not. I'm definitely not a property guru that's only about recommending investment deals to pad my pockets. In building the mastermind, what I wanted to do was create an environment where it's definitely not a pitch fest. The trusted advisors and deal makers that come to the table are the best of the best. And I have literally spent years looking for people who can not only be great providers of deal flow, but they're also at the coalface and have become, mentors and advisors to me over the last, 10 years. And there's no question that when you invest in those sorts of things, you start to get exponential results. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I am not a wealth advisor in disguise so that I get kickbacks on the next product I recommend to you. I want to be able to put my hand on my heart and say that I'm agnostic about which investments you take on. My goal is to educate, to help you get a better grasp on what the world of alternative investments look like and how to pair that with what we have available here in our local market. Because don't get me wrong, I am still very pro property, but my argument is that when you can blend the best of what we have here with what's available in other markets, you can start to see why you can 5x, 10x your results. I'm not a financial planner. I am not a buyer's agent that's going to charge you $30,000 just to help you find one deal. And I'm certainly not an educator or an info marketer who is going to show you how to do it and then leave you floundering to go find the deals yourself. So that's really not my intention either. The whole purpose of building Freedom Warrior is to create a community. It is a community of like-minded business owners who aren't happy to settle for retirement at the age of 65, who want to take control of their financial freedom and replace their living expenses, their incomes, in a fraction of that time. I want people to feel safe. I want them to understand what they're investing in, because that ultimately is the number one rule of investing. And know that they're doing it in an environment where we all have each other's best interest at heart. So, let me take you through a little bit about what it looks like. So the Freedom Warrior Mastermind, in my opinion, is the safest, fastest, most reliable method for business owners that want a super fast path to financial freedom without having to waste time finding the deals yourself. It is for entrepreneurs who are looking to replace their at least six-figure business income with passive income without losing lifestyle, and they want to do it fast. And typically, as I said, anywhere from 18 months up to about 5, maybe even 7 years, depending on how slow you're going. So look, I've spent the last 20 years building my own wealth, and I put my money where my mouth is. I walk my own talk. I want to help you figure out a faster way to achieve financial freedom, because I think the traditional wisdom, which tells you that it should take 30 to 60 years, is just rubbish. It's just unfair. Quietly, I just think that it shouldn't have to be that way. So, the framework I'm really passionate about is, making an 18-month commitment to a done with you so that you can build a crystal clear, foolproof plan for predictably growing and amplifying investment income, and that will give you that consistent, reliable annuity. And all the while, I might add that, we're trying to engage in strategies that are recession resistant. So just to be clear, the starting point of the journey that I take people on when they come into our mastermind is really, first of all, helping them understand how much do they need? What is their freedom formula? How much money do they actually need? How much capital do they need to get the outcome that they want? And most people are super shocked that they don't actually need as much as they think they do. If a small percentage of your portfolio is earning you net yields in excess of 8 to 12%, then that in itself is what will give you the capacity to accelerate towards that six-figure passive income. And in terms of what the program looks like, it's really a journey of taking people through a series of steps. First of all, it's about making sure the foundations are right, working out what have you got, where's the gaps, what are the priorities, and what are the current objectives. And there's a bunch of outcomes associated with that. The next step is really around building out a game plan. So looking for where the opportunities are, setting some income objectives around the passive income, reviewing a whole bunch of strategies, setting milestones, and making sure that we're crystal clear about the risk tolerances and preferences. Then we move to logistics. Logistics is all around structures. Do you understand how to move money around? Are you structured in a way that's going to be tax effective? Do you have the right legals in place? Decisions on how you're going to receive income and how your banking is set up to support all of that. Then we move towards deployment, which is all about deploying capital, shortlisting our preferred deal operators, and expressing capital commitments on a quarterly basis. And then finally, once our capital is deployed, we're really into optimize, which is a really important piece. It's around legacy, the structuring of our annuities, monitoring and identifying all of our assets and looking for any underperformance and making minor tweaks. So that is really enough detail, I think, for what people are interested in terms of an overview of the program. To make things easier for people, what I've also created is a self-paced course, a 6-module course, which is really about helping people understand what is the world of alternative investing, what does it look like, what's in scope, what are the strategies, how do they work, what are some examples of deals. And really for those people who are maybe more skeptical, maybe looking to move a little more slowly, who just want information before they can make a commitment, I've created that especially for you. There's no obligation, there's no commitment, and it's certainly from a price point perspective, I've deliberately priced it as very affordable for 2 reasons. One is I'm very keen to make it accessible to as many people as possible, whether or not you're in a position to actively invest right now into alternative or not. It's just a really important piece of the education puzzle if you're going to really move towards being a professional investor. And then the second reason I've created it is obviously just to make it clear how to go about building wealth and accelerating your passive income stream through that style of investing. So yeah, look guys, I hope that's given you enough of an overview. Just to be clear, we've got the mastermind, which is for business owners who are ready to take action. And then the Six-Figure Vault digital course, which is for people who are really looking or at the stage where they just need more information. So anyway, guys, I hope that's super helpful. If you want to maybe unpack and explore what your freedom formula is, what your number is that you need for your life, then I highly recommend you jump on our website or look at the show notes here, book a call with me. I'm happy to talk you through it. No obligation, but just to give you an insight for what is possible. So anyway, guys, till next time, take care. Thanks so much for listening to the Alternative Investing Podcast. If you're a business owner feeling frustrated that despite doing everything right in the property investing playbook and you're no closer to financial freedom, then head over to freedomwarrior.com.au to learn more about how you can use alternative investments to catapult your investing income and blend strategies to shave decades off your timeline to financial freedom. Till next time, take care. See you on the next episode, and bye for now.